Ladies and gents, we've got Jimmy Stonehouse.
Coach Jimmy, probably a tough result to take. What do you take from that result? What do you want to do from the game against the Lions?
Yeah, obviously it's not a good result for us, but we've got to focus on going forward. We'll go back and work on all our mistakes, especially our defense and some of the set pieces where we gave the ball away. And yeah, it's like the All Blacks. You've got to go back and make sure you win the next one. That's what it is.
I mean, you guys have been winners in 2022, finalists in 2023. Do you find this version of the tournament a little bit harder for you guys, or is it still more or less the same?
No, I'm laughing about what the guys are talking about, and I'm going to tell you why. In 2022, we lost 7 players to big unions. Last year, we lost 15. So the competition is exactly the same, but you start all over every single year. And coming to a union like this, I don't think there's one guy in that team that haven't played SA Schools or SA Under 21 or Springboks or whatever you may call them, or Super Rugby or URC. But if you go back to our team, if you really go and look who was there last year in the Currie Cup, I think it's 6 guys who were on the bench, and maybe just a Kwanda or whoever. So we knew this year is going to be tough for us. The biggest concern for me, there's a lot of young guys in this team. They're well talented, they're brilliant, and where we were supposed to dominate, we did not. And it's not, it's our own controllables that we didn't control today, and that was my biggest concern today. But yeah, obviously we know every year that it's going to be tough, and coming out this season, knowing where we stand, and it's just going to get tougher going forward, you know, especially now we already know who's going to go away at the end of this season, so we need to start all over again. But that's the game, you know, that's what happened. Griquas happens with Griquas, it happens with the Cheetahs, so obviously you just got to play the game and make sure you guys are on top there. You don't want the result like this, but all the credit to them, their tempo, it's just amazing. The mistakes, they don't make mistakes, and that's the biggest concern for me at this moment. We get in the front foot, and then suddenly we make that mistakes. It's not that we're forced to make it, it is just bad passes, but that's how the guys learn from, especially from us. And yeah, next week is a tougher one.
And maybe just Coach, how frustrating is that? You know, like you say, you already know who's leaving at the end of the season, and I think you know that maybe if you had the guys that you would have had in the previous 2 seasons, that you guys would be competing, and this team would be evolving much more.
Well, the biggest thing is that guys with the experience, you know, if you still had a Tinus de Beer, a Devin Williams, a Sebastian de Klerk, you can name them. That's the guys that keep stuff together, you know. And but at least you know it up front. And I always say this: if you play in a game and you're just in the game in the first half, then you already know you got a chance. But now with playing in the SA Cup and playing an Airline Cup, you don't have that pre-season where we in the past mold that guys and take him through a lot of toughness and fitness. But know who's going to go already. That's every union's got that. In South Africa, you sit with that thing. You're in a big union, but you cannot wait for the team overseas to contact you for the bigger salary. So I can sit here and I can complain, but for everyone, the boat is exactly the same.
And then for me, Coach, as well, I mean, besides the 2 results against the Lions, you've had some positive results as well. You know, put some points on top of the Griquas. You've had a win in Durban against the Sharks, a draw at home, and a nail biter against the Sharks as well. How do you keep reminding your players that, listen, keep your head up, you're still in this competition, and you're still a quality side despite these 2 results against the Lions?
Yeah, you know, nobody can tell me the All Blacks is going to lose next week. You know, it's game by game. Every game is a different game. The ball bounces. Pika, I think he slipped 4 times today, and if the ball was in his hand, maybe he could have done something. So on the day, the stuff didn't work for you. So, and that's life. It's not every day cast in stone for you. You got to make it work for you. And you know, to go back now and put your hair down, it's not working that way. You got to get there positive, like now in the change room. I can be as negative as I want to, it's not going to help me. We lost with 75 points the previous one, and then we won 2 in a row, or won one good one and played a draw against the Sharks. That's what it is. The Lions almost lost, or they lost against Sharks, I don't know, and we beat the Sharks. Down there we draw, so why this one is a big thing on us, I don't know. But life is like, it's not how you fall, it's about how you stand up. And for me to put my head down today and say, yes, I don't have the players, I got good players, I just got to get them out there and make sure that they just get back next week and are positive and fighting that fight, and fight for themselves, fight for the game we play, fight for the guy next to you, control your controllables, don't make your mistakes, and that's what a coach is there for.
I think lastly from my side, Coach Shumi, do you feel as if maybe a team like the Pumas, who have been consistent over the years and have also produced a lot of big players for other big unions, deserve to be in a sort of international competition, to be able to also keep the players and be attractive to other players? Do you think that will help you in this problem of, you know, players are going to leave and be taken by teams that play those international competitions?
Yeah, you know what is bad? If I say to you, I think we belong or we need international competition, people will say you cannot even beat the Lions B team. How can you be there? But if you're in whatever international competition, at least you'll get bigger sponsors, because that's what's keeping your players. And if you get bigger sponsors, you can get better players. And if you're in international competition and the unions buy your players, they already got exposure in traveling, they got exposure in the international competition. It can also be a benefit for them. If you look at the Cheetahs, and let's talk about contracting. Who will choose the Pumas, or who will they pick? Cheetahs or Pumas? We beat them out of 6 times, 4 times now. But that's international, because the player know they're going to get exposure, they're going to get a bigger salary, because rugby's half-life is short. And for South African rugby, I think it just can be a benefit to get us in any international competition. I don't say URC or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. We can play there and we can beat them. But if we can consistently keep our players playing international competition, we can be better. It's better for South African rugby. The players can grow and the Springbok team can grow. After Clark, Vincent Koch. Where do we come from? That's what it's about.
Thank you so much. Coach Jimmy, thank you very much.
Thank you guys.